Folkestone, a port town on the English Channel in the county of Kent that has recently become the world's first music town. A bold claim, and I'm not entirely sure what it means. The area has been occupied since the Stone Ages, but remained a small fishing village until the 19th century, which is when some of the creativity must have started flowing around those streets. I can only assume that that includes the presence of street musicians. In becoming a music town, Folkestone is replicating the work of music cities such as San Francisco, Amsterdam, and London. The Folkestone Music Town Project Board's first task will be to explore a recognised busking code of conduct in the town. Well, if that's not a reason to check out Folkestone's street music scene, then I don't know what is. Yes, that's right, friends. Here is how I got on busking in Folkestone, the world's first music town. Now then, welcome to Folkestone, folks. The self-proclaimed music town, the world's first. I'm intrigued, man. I think this could be good. I've seen a lot of potential spots here today. Like, there is a massive amount of potential busking area. My old band once played here years and years ago. We got booked for a ska festival and we weren't a ska band, and it was one of the worst gigs I've ever played. Because we had a load of burly skinhead men with Doc Martens on, angry that we didn't play any ska. So hopefully this is redemption. Hopefully Folkestone can redeem itself. But let's go through the guidelines for this self-proclaimed music town. I'm excited. I don't know about you. The rules for busking in Folkestone. Folkestone and Hythe District Council provide a code of conduct for buskers. Evidently the one that has been worked on as part of the first task of the Folkestone Music Town Project Board. That's a lengthy title. We welcome you to perform in Folkestone, the world's first music town. If you're busking in Folkestone, please use this code of conduct and you shouldn't have any problems. Alright? Cool. It's a relatively wordy code of conduct, but unlike the other places we've visited in Kent so far, they have actually gone and used bullet points, which makes life a whole lot easier. Firstly, there's a section on what busking is, and then there's some guidelines on where to busk. Number 1, busking is legal on all public land. Number 2, all pitches operate differently. Chat to locals to get the lowdown. Isn't that the purpose of this booklet? Oh well, I guess it's good to chat. If you're trying out a new area, talk to local buskers, businesses and traders. They're really encouraging the social interactions here, but I guess that's not a bad thing. This one is absolutely brilliant. Let people get past. There should be space to push a piano past you and your audience, even at busy times. Okay? Well, I guess it's a music town. Maybe people pushing a piano around is a likely scenario. Number 5, if your audience blocks a doorway, market stall, pavement, cash machine or loo, please stop and clear the blockage. What joker wrote this? What on earth? Okay, I'm gonna start condensing these down a little, unless they read as comedy gold as those last 2 points, just to save some time. These 2 essentially say don't hog and make sure you're sharing pictures with other buskers. This says be mindful of residents and businesses and avoid sound clashes by being far enough away from other buskers. This next section on your performance, it essentially covers what's already been said, but also mentions that you shouldn't be humiliating or offensive. Promoting positive relationships in the street. Always a good thing. Always a good thing. The next section on sound says 1, again, be mindful. 2, keep your volume at street noise level. 3, don't repeat the same material in the same spot over and over again. 4, monitor your volume. And 5, keep backing tracks down. The next section is on equipment. Number 1, make sure nobody can trip over your equipment. Number 2, don't leave it unattended. Number 3, keep it safe, especially if it involves anything risky, i.e. fire, knives, high wire, unicycle, Diablo, juggling, etc. I'm surprised they allow fire. My friend from Watford would go down well in Folkestone. Number 4, don't cover your face with a mask, which isn't great news if you're in Slipknot or a Slipknot tribute band and you want to do some busking in Folkestone. Number 5, keep your pitch clean and tidy. We are then provided with a little map that shows the primary shopping area of Folkestone, which is where you're going to want to set up if you do busk there. Then there's some points on collecting money. Number 1, the public must not feel obliged to give you donations. No using that fire to force them.
Amazing.
And number 2, you need a street trader's license if you want to sell merch or CDs. Then there's some bits on resolving issues, accompanied with a nice flow diagram of what to do. And then there's some bits on the law and antisocial behavior, just the kind of standard bits that you'd expect to see. Easy work, a reasonable set of simple guidelines. Just remember, if your audience are causing a blockage in a loo, apparently, then you need to stop and clear that blockage. So I guess you need to, I don't know, bring your toilet bleach and a plunger or something. I think someone at Folkestone Council had a strong coffee the morning that they wrote that. What a joker. As you're about to see, I had absolutely no problems in regards to any of this, and I definitely didn't encounter any loo blockages, luckily. So let's get on with my day in Folkestone.
I'm having a classic case of fear of setting up in the wrong spot when you're in a place you've never been before. Hopefully this is good. Places to go, places to find peace and quiet.
Spot number 1. When you're not familiar with a place, it can be difficult to know where is good to set up. Part of the reason I decided I'd start making these videos is so that my fellow buskers can get pitch recommendations from somebody that has actually played in these places.
The universe, nothing inside my mind, it is on fire.
Before I head to a place, I usually check it out on Google Maps, and then I'll surf through news articles and YouTube videos to figure out where other buskers have set up. And then when I arrive, I tend to scope out the places that I've pinned on the map. From what I can see in Folkestone, there are a few main areas that I think would be worthy of busking. Firstly, there's the top of Sandgate Road, outside W.H. Smith's and what used to be Debenhams. There's actually a news article of a kid who's kind of wowing the local residents with his tunes, playing here. You and the right back is still riding your bucket list. Secondly, there's Oxford Terrace, or this sort of square outside the shopping centre. This has a few cafes around, and there was plenty of foot traffic on the day I was there. And then there's anywhere along Guildhall Street, as well as the bottom of Rendezvous Street. The old High Street is a beautiful place, but I'd probably say it's too narrow for any busking. I actually decided to set up on the sort of middle of Sandgate Road, outside CEX, opposite HSBC. There was a really good flow of foot traffic coming from all directions, and some nearby market stalls meant that there were a few people kind of just hanging around. And things kicked off exactly how you would want them to in the world's first music town. Instant positive reaction. And I had a good feeling right from the get-go.
We tried to catch a fish. We had nothing but a piece of line attached to a stick. We dipped it in the river, waited hours for a bite. Yet still we didn't catch that fish.
Now, Folkestone town centre itself is pretty big. I'd say there are room for multiple buskers here. The town centre is almost all pedestrian only, and the streets are nice and large, preventing any of those pesky blockages, meaning you can leave your plunger in your bag.
it on that fish. Another time we hated it. We always complained that we were wasting our time, always wasting our time.
Folkestone was one of those places where people just kept coming over, beaming with great big smiles at the sight of a street musician, having a little sing-along, throwing some coins in my case. It's got a really cool vibe.
I do remembering time I spent when I was wasting it with you.
Which, if I'm honest, I was a little surprised about.
Remember when we used to go to school?
I'd obviously read about its new transformation in becoming a music town, but I have actually visited Folkestone before, but maybe about 10 years ago. Back then, it didn't feel like the sort of place that would become a music town.
Another time we hated it. We always complained that we were wasting our time, always wasting our time.
It was almost a bit of a sleepy backwater that had a almost dodgy feel. My old band played a festival there, and if I'm being completely transparent, it was one of the scariest gigs I've ever played.
Remembering time I spent when I was racing it with.
I did not expect to be returning as a busker 10 plus years later and finding the place is completely transformed. It's friendly, it's beautiful, it's got an almost hip vibe. There were elements of Brighton and Bristol about it.
Till we left, how much fun we had back then.
I was kind of taken back by how rad it's become. In fact, the only negative feedback I had all day was from some local residents who had clearly accidentally woken up.
Okay, so just above me here, this is obviously a closed shop, but above is flats, and I didn't realise. Thank you. And two people just walked out the door and they were like, oh, no wonder I can hear him so loud. He's right there. So I apologise to those people. I didn't realise there were flats above me. It's going well so far, very well. I'm enjoying it.
My room, looking for something to do, remembering time I spent when I was racing it with.
As I was playing to the wonderful folk of Folkestone, I realised that this had the potential to be a one-spot wonder.
But now I'm sat here in my room, looking for something to do, remembering time I spent when I was racing it with. Time well spent, wasting it with friends.
Thank you so much. I'm thinking it could be a one-spot wonder. Folkestone is living up to its name, the music town. It's very friendly. Maybe the friendliest place I've been in Kent so far.
When you're busking and you're being received really well by the public and you're playing and everything's going smoothly, it's really easy to just get lost in time.
Just a teenage step-back baby, listen to all you made and baby with me. No.
I guess it's what's known as flow state. I just find myself absorbed in the performance. My mind completely focused on what I'm doing. Playing those tunes, trying to utter thank yous here and there to all the people coming past, giving donations, smiling, little waves. I almost forget where I am and what I'm doing.
He lives on my block, but he drives in our rock, but he doesn't know who I am.
It's a strange but really cool feeling. And before I know it, I've been playing for 2.5 hours.
Just a teenage step-back baby, just a teenage step-back baby, listen to all you made and maybe with me. No.
I genuinely think as a busker, you have so much control over the energy of the street. Like, if you're smiley, positive and happy, then it generally projects onto the people of the street. And you can see their energy switch as they hear you. Magic.
It's these kinds of busks that they make up for all of the ones that haven't gone so well. Now, don't get me wrong, I love each and every time I play. I'm so grateful to live in a place where you can just set up and perform in most towns and cities. I got 2 tickets to But there is something really magical about when you're sounding good, the people are vibing, and you're witnessing firsthand on the positive impact you're bringing through your music to the people of the street. Oh yeah, no, she doesn't know what she's missing. There's really no feeling that compares to that. What's even more, once you are eventually broken out of this flow state, usually by the need to go and find one of those loos, and hopefully not to cause a blockage, you look down at your case and you see it brimming full of coins. And then you suddenly realise that you've had a really successful busk. You can't help but just smile. Dang, I freaking love this job. At some point during the set, it came to my attention that I was still the only busker in town, despite it being a Saturday and being in the heart of the world's first music town. I did expect to see others.
What's not good about this weather is it feels like it's gonna rain imminently. What's good about it is I think it's meant that there's been no other buskers here all morning and into this early afternoon. I've played the same amount of songs as I played in my first set in Canterbury, and I think I've hit a one-spot wonder. But I'm having so much fun. This place is like the best place in Kent so far. So well done, Folkestone. You're living up to your music town name.
Sometimes I want to play all day long. Sometimes I want to hit a second spot. But sometimes I'm on my 4th day in a row of busking. And the idea of being able to take advantage of an early home time, maybe spending the afternoon sitting by the harbour, sipping on a warm drink and eating some nice food. I should know better than to take that cup so fast. You gotta take advantage of those situations, you know? All I can say is, dang, Folkestone, you really are a music town. This girl, shooting a last, getting in trouble, crying. I ain't never seen something so fine, and I'm doing anything to make it mine. I was out of my mind, inside of this world, yeah, that was this girl. Now then, what a day! That was not what I expected. This place is so rad, so beautiful. I did not know I liked Folkestone this much, man. Such a cool spot. Let's just talk about what happened there, if these seagulls will let me. So I arrived in Folkestone, I walked around a little bit. I wasn't planning on a one-spot wonder at all, but it just was going too well to stop. Once you're in a flow like that, you really don't need to, you know, move on unless another busker is around or you get told to. I played for the exact amount of time that I played in spot 1 when I was in Canterbury. 2 hours, 15 minutes, around about. And first of all, let's tell you the total. I made £143.52. One spot wonder. Madness. Just the vibe here is so friendly, and I think if you watched last week's video about Canterbury, about how Canterbury kind of has lost its artistic, creative vibrancy, I think it's because it's moved to Folkestone. Folkestone has it, man. This town is rad. It's a really cool place. Well worth a visit, whether you're a busker or not. Just walk down like the old high street and it's amazing. It's beautiful. Well recommended. Folkestone, you currently win the Kent crown for places to busk. And yeah, I think you could be the first music town. I think you really could. So, back to future me. The world's first music town. Honestly, I was shocked. As I sat on the train station platform, looking over the nearby North Downs, which is actually the same view you get when you're waiting for Le Shuttle or the Eurotunnel to go to France, I couldn't help but feel like I need to return to Folkestone. And this time for a proper visit. That place would be worth a little vacation type thing. From the previous time I'd been, the place has really changed. And it really does feel like there's a vibrancy running through those streets. Good frickin' times. 100% recommend it as a place to busk. It gets the full ARP seal of approval. Thank you for watching this video. If you are a regular busker in Folkestone and I've missed any kind of advice that you would definitely recommend, then stick it in the comments below. And if you're a local to Folkestone, then you live in a cool place. I don't think you used to, but it is now. It's really quite cool. Give this video a like and hit subscribe. And if you're a true fan, put the notifications on. Oh, and don't forget to unblock that loo. I am August Radio Project. I make videos every week and they come out on Monday. Until next week, maybe watch the video on the screen or just go and find one of the others on the channel. I'll see you next Monday. Till then, peace, love, happiness.